So, I made a novel in under a month. Should I be proud of myself, right? Now, I know some of you might be wondering, despite my numbers, why would I write a novel at a time like this? And yet, by chance, doing it under a month. Well, there's some backstories that happened. First, let's explain what made me ended up making a novel. Back in the winter of 2020, which is the very beginning actually, I did a TikTok, and the caption is about a undercover detective that is tasked to kill a best friend or something. I'll just show it to you.
Touching me, touching you, sweet Caroline.
I ended up building up a backstory of what happened to it.
The rules have changed. There's a fine line between right and wrong. And somewhere in the shadows, they send us in to find it.
126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Start clear!
Victor 6-4, green light.
And for some reason, I ended up thinking of a huge lore of this beyond those two TikToks that I did. It kept playing on my head for as long as I can remember, like ever since I, like still right now, it's still in my head. Like, I mean, I'm currently only done with the first volume as of the recording of this one, and I figured, why not just write it down instead of just keeping it in my head, like because, like, I'm not gonna lie, there are other different stories that are in my head, but I will tell them about it later. This is currently the focus of this video. I usually tend to create a lot of characters whenever I make content. Like Akane, for example, I'm sort of like the anime villain or something. I'm pretty sure one of my friends can actually prove that. And so I ended up thinking of creating this character based on the TikTok that I did, and those two TikToks that I did, I made based on a character that I played, and I decided to name him Constantine. Constantine is a experienced spy for 2 years. He joined the by a week after he turned 18. He's 20 at the time of the novel I'm making. He ended up becoming part of the Phantom Spy agencies in early age due to a connection with a father figure to him, and that is Sir Davis. Sir Davis is the executive president of the Phantom Spy agencies. He met Constantine while he was still a spy at the time, and Constantine ended up involving himself, helping him with the case. And I think that's all I can say for that. However, those are not the only characters. There are more introduced to the story. The other one that I can introduce is Riley. Riley is an office worker in the Phantom Spy agencies who befriended Constantine by 2 weeks after his first days of work in the Phantom Spy agencies. I should just say PSA instead. I'm not sure if I would use that abbreviation because that could mean so many different things. It's just in my awareness. So I was really wondering on if I could really actually do on like actually making a novel, and after being on a app called Tapas, despite me not publishing anything yet, I mean this app is known for publishing web comics and web novels, and I thought, why not give it a shot? So from there I started working. I think I forgot when was it, but I know it was somewhere around June, and I mean obviously I'm trying to do this under a month. The creating process of it was kind of a bit just free exploring, mainly because I didn't plan out on how the story should be. However, I already thought of how the first volume should be, because also I already thought of on how the overall ending should be, but like I haven't thought out of like the whole story process between volume 2 yet. I mean I'm already thinking on the starting process, and that's all I have. Apparently I didn't think of like the building up process to another volume. And I'm not gonna say how many volumes are gonna be there for this, because I don't want to like ruin anyone's potential of reading it. I think mainly for that problem with me just really freedom exploring on my head, with like no map on where to lead. I meant like a no written out map on which direction I should go with it. There were a bit times that I had a bit of a mind block actually, and I mean that comes to no surprise when you're writing something. Like even at those times, I ended up continue writing until like 3 to 4 a.m. for it, and I'm not surprised that I get a headache for that one. Beyond that, I did manage to find some tactics to make me continue writing, like from my friend who actually has experience in writing. I'm not gonna say her identity because I don't think that she would appreciate me calling her out, but I just don't want to put it out there. I mean, obviously, listening to music is a really good recommendation. And for some reason, I ended up listening to a lot of Audioslave lately. I mean, I am literally amazed by like the writing style, and like obviously with the grunge part of it. I mean, you couldn't help but be amazed about Chris Cornell. I mean, I didn't know much about Soundgarden yet. I will try to be picked up on it since I mean, obviously my brother would be interested in it. So yeah, Audioslave helped me a bit on writing more, but it's not that I have to always write every day. There are times that I have to dial back a bit, because I was also trying to make TikToks at the time, and also by that time I was trying to be there for a friend. that day itself, I mean, I don't even know how to describe that day when he was celebrating it. Well, not just because that he always gets, it's not because that he gets drunk. I almost sort of like I don't even know what I was thinking right after that moment, but somehow that beyond thinking of like other things, it made me think on about the ending of on how I should end the novel itself. I ended up changing it up, and somehow now there are different scenarios with the same consequences that is going on in my head. And it's still, I'm still really thinking on how, on the situation to be put out in the same consequence, because in the previous consequence it was because in the previous consequence it made me think of like ever since the movement, when I see protesters like take a knee in front of the police officers, and somehow after what Shadow encountered, I decided to change the dynamic. Like, I decided to not involve with take a knee. I just scratched it off. I don't feel like doing it. Not because I don't feel bad for it. It's just that I don't think it's really needed to make a relation about it, since mainly it's not like about protests or stuff. It's just mainly between a spy and a kind of like a civil war between a spy agency and a gang group. That's all I could say. I'm not gonna say how it happens. That somehow made me change the plan on how I should end it, and I decided to stuck to it. What I plan the novel to tackle on is not just about like what I said, mainly about with people assigned to do their jobs. I mean, as of like doing services for the country versus people who are doing what's right for themselves. And it kind of relates a lot in every scenario at this point, because I mean, obviously with series in Tapas to me, such as Mismatched, it kind of has a bit of that dynamic, and which kind of a bit inspires me a bit. And that is, I mean, obviously probably one of it, and the other one that inspired me to probably write I mean, it's just mainly mangas that maybe inspired to actually do this. I think the other one that I remember was a series called I Hate You. The emotion really driven me about this manga, and I think that's what most stories are tasked to do, is to invoke the emotion towards the readers. And that really made me think of like some sort of like tension between something, and I'm not going to reveal what it is. And obviously what they have in common is that it mainly pertains BL, and I mean, obviously speaking from a person who is gay here, and beyond the fact, jealousy really hurts, and you really couldn't do anything, and you cannot help yourself beyond certain emotions on what you ended up seeing, or what is happening behind the scenes, or something that you really cannot catch up, and or something that you wish you wanted to be with, or something that you want to have. The funniest thing to me when I was writing the novel was doing the erotic scenes. Like like I never written out like I don't know how am I supposed to describe the scene in general. I mean, I'm saying this because my friend critiqued that one when she read it. It was really funny because for the fact that I visualized it while I was writing it down. Although I had fun doing it, actually. I meant the writing part of it. I meant not the visualizing. Okay, maybe both. Maybe both. To be quite honest, after ever since I was writing the novel, I didn't think that there would be anything built up to it. Although I just let myself do everything, and beyond the fact, I'm actually amazed on what I have done. Because like I didn't think that I would write all of this under a month, and I ended it like right around 3 or 4 days ago, depending on the time. I mean, it was really, I'm just amazed at myself for doing it, because like I didn't, I mean, because obviously as a kid, we obviously sometimes dream ourselves being in that story, and for someone to actually create their own story, it clicks in of like you wonder how popular is it going to be, you wonder how supportive they're gonna have for you, and I mean, I literally have no words to say how I felt while I was writing it. And but then when I wrote the ending, I almost teared up because I mean, I am aware that it's not over, but like I think probably why I cried because I couldn't believe how much hard work that I put up for this novel. Let alone be done under a month. I'm like bewildered of like what I've just did. And beyond the fact this is the second attempt of me recording this, and I mean I still couldn't get the fact that I wrote a novel and I'm finally done with it. It's just literally a hard thing to process clearly, and all that's left is to put it up in some website to make sure these people read it. For my novel to just be to get the idea based for my TikTok, for it to run in my head for a while, which it still currently is at the moment, as if in like, what is next for the story? Now I'm wondering if I should really write other stories other than just what I just made. Like some inspirations of Orange High School Host Clubs and punk rock bands at the same time came into my head, and probably also a novel or probably a manga, because I think a visual is really needed, but I'm not much of a really good artist. I mean, I don't really compare myself, but I don't really compare myself often. I just know that I am usually bad at everything. But why not try? Obviously, because I mean, it's not worth trying to experiment on whether they're gonna like it or not. And if you're as satisfied as well as the people who are reading it, then that is a good thing. You can go on from that one. And so now all I can do is let you guys read it. I've already let one read it, and obviously the publish is going to be by chapter. And all I can say is hopefully you guys enjoy the novel that I'm going to put out for you, and all I can say is don't expect so much, because it's my first time doing it. So that is all I can say. This has been Akinen, and hopefully you gotta enjoy my novel.